It was exactly 1 a.m. I was driving a retrofitted transport ambulance, carrying a deceased male from a remote mountain clinic back to the county morgue. The guy, listed only as John Doe, had been found frozen in the deep woods of the Cascade Range. He had no ID, no wallet, and no face. Well, he had a face, but the coroner's report said his skin had been surgically peeled off by an unknown predator. Because of the severe facial trauma, he was zipped tight in a heavy black vinyl body bag in the back of my rig. The night was suffocatingly dark. A thick, wet Oregon fog clung to the windshield, and the old pines on Route 4 arched over the highway like giant skeletal claws. I was entirely alone. In my rig, there's a heavy steel sliding door with a small, double-paned glass window that separates the driver's cabin from the patient gurney in the back. I was driving through the deepest, most isolated stretch of the forest when the ambulance's dashboard lights began to flicker violently. The digital clock on my radio began to glitch, the numbers spinning wildly before freezing at exactly 1 a.m. Suddenly, the engine coughed, and the headlights died. I rolled to a silent, terrifying halt on the shoulder of the road, right under the dense canopy of the trees. I turned the key. Click, click, click. The battery was completely dead. The silence that followed was heavy and absolute. No crickets, no wind, no distant highway noise, just the sound of my own shallow breathing. I grabbed my tactical flashlight, preparing to step out and check the alternator. That was when I heard it, from the dark cabin directly behind me. Zip, zip, zip. The slow, rhythmic sound of a heavy metal zipper being pulled open. My blood turned to pure ice. I slowly turned my head, shining my flashlight through the small glass window into the back of the ambulance. The black body bag on the gurney was open. The corpse was sitting upright. Even with the thick fog outside, the moonlight cut through the back glass, illuminating the pale, bloodless torso. Its head was slowly tilted to the side, staring directly at the partition window. Because it had no facial skin, its raw, exposed muscles and empty eye sockets looked wet and glistening in the dark. Then it raised its arm. It pointed a long, rotting finger directly at the glass window separating us. I pressed my back hard against the steering wheel, my heart hammering so violently I thought my chest would crack. I wanted to scream, but my throat was totally dry. Suddenly, the intercom speaker on my dashboard, used to communicate with the paramedic in the back, screamed to life with a burst of static. Scritch, scratch, a voice came through. It was frantic, terrified, and gasping for air. "Marcus! Oh my God, Marcus, help me!" the speaker cried. "The engine died and I'm trapped in the back with it. It's trying to rip my face off. Unlock the door." I stared at the speaker in absolute horror. The voice screaming for help was my own voice. It was an identical, flawless replica of my own vocal cords, matching my exact panic and stutter. But I was the only one in the ambulance. I looked back through the glass window. The skinless corpse on the gurney wasn't moving its jaw. The frantic, screaming voice was coming from somewhere deep inside its hollow chest cavity, looping like a glitched audio track. "Marcus, let me out. It's cold. Let me out." When I didn't unlock the partition door, the screaming suddenly stopped. The panic instantly vanished from the speaker, replaced by a cold, dead, mechanical silence. Then the voice spoke again. It was still my voice, but the tone was slow, flat, and hollow. "Marcus, you're not opening the door. That's a violation of medical protocol." The skinless corpse suddenly threw itself off the gurney. With a sickening snapping sound of breaking bones, it crouched on all fours, like a massive, distorted spider. It launched itself at the steel partition door. Bang! The glass window shattered, cracks spiderwebbing across the panes. The entity's raw, muscle-exposed face pressed directly against the glass, its empty eye sockets staring into mine. A jagged, horizontal tear ripped open across the bottom of its faceless head, revealing rows of sharp, needle-like teeth. It began to scrape its long, yellow fingernails against the steel door. "Screech, screech, Marcus, let me in," it whispered through the broken glass, using my voice. "I just want to borrow your face." I screamed, finally snapping out of my paralysis. I kicked my door open, tumbled out into the wet, foggy asphalt, and ran down Route 4 as fast as my legs could carry me. I didn't look back, but behind me I could hear the back doors of the ambulance being violently kicked open, followed by the heavy, wet sound of something chasing me on all fours. Thump, thump, thump. I ran until my lungs burned, until the darkness began to blur. Suddenly I saw the bright headlights of a state trooper's vehicle parked on the side of the road ahead. I sprinted toward the light, screaming for help, and collapsed on the hood of the police cruiser. The officer ran out, helping me inside the warm, safe cabin of his car. I sobbed, pointing back toward the dark highway, trying to explain what had happened. The officer put his hand on my shoulder, telling me I was safe now. He put the car in drive and drove me straight back to the county station. The nightmare was over. I had survived. When we arrived, I walked into the station's restroom to wash the mud and sweat off my face. I turned on the faucet, splashed the freezing water over my eyes, and grabbed a towel. As I wiped my face and looked up into the large bathroom mirror, my heart completely stopped. My body went entirely numb, and the towel slipped from my limp fingers. The reflection looking back at me had my paramedic uniform, my hair, and my name tag. But my face was gone. In its place was a raw, red, muscle-exposed mass of flesh, with no skin. I tried to scream, but I had no lips to form the sound. Only a wet, suffocating wheeze left my throat. Suddenly, from the other side of the glass, the reflection raised its hand and pressed its palm against the mirror. A terrifying, wide mouth, filled with needle-like teeth, ripped open across the raw flesh. It smiled a sinister, mocking smile, and spoke in my perfect original voice. "Thanks for the ride, Marcus. Your skin fits perfectly." I realized the horrifying truth too late. The state trooper had never found me. I had never escaped Route 4. The entity had glitched my mind to make me think I was safe, forcing me to let my guard down while it stripped my face in the dark. And now I am the one trapped on the other side of the glass, looking out into a world that no longer belongs to me, while a faceless monster drives my ambulance wearing my skin.